Is episode 6 Criston Cole's last episode? House of the Dragon early reviews explained. Warning: this video discusses early reviews and advanced reactions for House of the Dragon Season 3, Episode 6. While reviewers have avoided revealing the episode's biggest surprises, they have shared several interesting hints about what fans can expect. Nothing discussed here has been officially confirmed by HBO, so treat everything as early impressions rather than confirmed spoilers. Now let's explain. Criston Cole is suddenly the center of every discussion. As House of the Dragon Season 3, Episode 6 approaches, one character is dominating almost every early review: Sir Criston Cole. For weeks, fans have been wondering when one of the most anticipated moments from George R.R. Martin's Fire and Blood would finally arrive. Episode 5 already placed Criston on a dangerous path. Now, the first reviewers who have watched episode 6 are all hinting that his storyline becomes one of the episode's biggest talking points. But here's the interesting part. Almost nobody is explaining exactly why. Instead, reviewers keep describing one major sequence as brutal, emotional, unexpected, and surprisingly placed within the episode. That mystery alone has sparked countless discussions across Reddit, X, and House of the Dragon fan communities. Is episode 6 really Criston Cole's final chapter? Or are the reviewers carefully avoiding something much bigger? Let's break down everything we know so far. What are early reviewers actually saying? One of the biggest mistakes fans make before every new episode is believing every social media rumor. This time, the situation is slightly different. Several trusted reviewers who received advanced screeners are all pointing towards similar conclusions. They describe episode 6 as being one of the strongest episodes of the season. Many even compare it directly to episode 5, which has already become one of the highest rated episodes of season 3. At the same time, several reviewers mention one creative decision that could divide longtime readers of Fire and Blood. Nobody reveals exactly what that decision is, but multiple reviewers independently mention a major departure from George R.R. Martin's source material. Whenever several critics avoid talking about the same scene, it usually means HBO has specifically asked them not to spoil it. That has only increased curiosity surrounding episode 6. Is Criston Cole's story finally reaching its end? The biggest question surrounding episode 6 is obvious. Is this Criston Cole's final episode? If you've read Fire and Blood, you already know why fans are asking that question, without revealing major book spoilers. Criston eventually reaches one of the most memorable moments of the Dance of the Dragons. Many viewers believed that moment would happen much later. But according to several early reactions, episode 6 may finally bring that storyline to the screen. Interestingly, reviewers aren't focusing on the outcome. Instead, they keep talking about how the episode is structured. According to multiple reactions, the biggest sequence reportedly doesn't happen during the final minutes. Instead, it arrives much earlier than many fans expect, allowing the rest of the episode to deal with its consequences. If that's true, it would be a very different storytelling approach from previous episodes. Rather than building toward one giant climax, the story reportedly lets viewers experience the emotional and political fallout afterward. That alone could explain why critics continue praising episode 6. Ryan Condal continues changing Fire and Blood. One reason these early reviews have generated so much discussion is because Ryan Condal has already shown that he isn't afraid to adapt George R.R. Martin's history in new ways. House of the Dragon has never been a page-by-page recreation of Fire and Blood, and Season 3 has made that even more obvious. Several storylines have been expanded. Characters have received much larger roles. New conversations have been added. Some timelines have been adjusted, and emotional moments have been created specifically for television. That doesn't necessarily mean the overall story changes completely, but it does mean the journey often looks different from what readers imagined. That's possible because Fire and Blood isn't written like a Game of Thrones. It's written as an in-universe history book. Many historical events are described through conflicting accounts, meaning nobody inside the book truly knows every detail of what happened. Ryan Condal has used that storytelling style to explore events that the book only briefly mentions. And according to early reviewers, episode 6 may push that creative philosophy even further. One major book change is being teased. Perhaps the biggest mystery surrounding episode 6 is the repeated mention of one major change from Fire and Blood. Almost every advanced review hints at it, yet nobody explains what it actually is. Some reviewers even joke that Ryan Condal once again reminds everyone that he has read George R. Martin's book. Others simply warn that one decision near the end could frustrate some long-time readers. Whether that change involves Criston Cole, another major character, or an entirely different storyline. Nobody is saying, and that's exactly why curiosity continues growing. Book readers who normally know every major event suddenly find themselves unable to predict exactly what's coming. That may actually be one of House of the Dragon's biggest strengths. Even long-time fans can still be surprised. Where is Vhagar? Another fascinating detail has nothing to do with Criston Cole. Instead, it involves someone who is barely being discussed, the largest and most dangerous dragon in Westeros. Usually dominates every conversation surrounding the Dance of the Dragons. But this time, something feels different. The episode 6 trailer doesn't draw attention to Vhagar. The early reviews barely mention the dragon, and most promotional material focuses on characters rather than massive dragon battles. Aemond still appears connected to Harrenhal in the footage we've seen, but Vhagar herself remains largely absent from the discussion. Of course, that doesn't prove Vhagar won't appear. HBO has hidden major moments in trailers before, but the silence surrounding Westeros' most feared dragon has become one of the biggest talking points among fans. Perhaps episode 6 focuses more on the human consequences of war, rather than another dragon spectacle. Or perhaps HBO is simply protecting one of the episode's biggest surprises. The dragon seeds finally step forward. While everyone talks about Criston Cole, early reviewers continue mentioning another important group, the dragon seeds. These characters have spent much of the season waiting in the background. According to the first reactions, that finally changes. Reviewers suggest the dragon seeds begin receiving meaningful development, which makes perfect sense considering how important they become during the Dance of the Dragons. Their growing role could completely reshape the balance of power during the second half of season 3. And if Ryan Condal follows that storyline closely, viewers should expect much bigger dragon conflicts in the episodes ahead. Not every review is completely positive. Although most critics praise episode 6, several reviewers share one common criticism. They continue wishing the Dance of the Dragons felt more like an actual war, instead of spending so much time inside council chambers. Political conversations remain one of the show's greatest strengths. But some critics still want to see more soldiers, more battlefields, and more of Westeros beyond castle walls. Interestingly, even those reviewers still rank episode 6 alongside episode 5, suggesting the emotional storytelling continues carrying the season. Why episode 6 could change everything. Whether Criston Cole's journey truly reaches its conclusion, or whether Ryan Condal has another surprise waiting, one thing seems increasingly clear. Episode 6 is shaping up to become one of the season's biggest turning points. Not simply because of one battle, but because of how the story continues evolving beyond the pages of Fire and Blood. Book readers are no longer completely certain what happens next, and television viewers have no idea which theories will prove true. That's exactly the kind of uncertainty that makes weekly television exciting. If the early reviews are accurate, episode 6 won't just move the story forward. It may completely change how fans view the adaptation itself. And honestly, that might be the biggest surprise of all. Final thoughts. So what do you think? Is episode 6 really the final chapter for Sir Criston Cole? Or are the reviewers deliberately hiding something even bigger? Do you think Ryan Condal should remain completely faithful to Fire and Blood? Or do you enjoy seeing new interpretations that even long-time readers can't predict? And what do you make of Vhagar's apparent absence from the trailer and the early reviews? Is HBO simply protecting a major surprise? Or is the story deliberately shifting its focus away from dragons and toward the people fighting this devastating war? Share all your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more House of the Dragon breakdowns, episode reviews, book comparisons, hidden details, ending explained videos, and everything surrounding the Dance of the Dragons. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.